Everybody on Twitter is talking about the LayerZero airdrop. All the Twitter influencers, all the YouTubers, every person is talking about LayerZero. And the question you're probably asking yourself right now is it worth my time? What do I even do? How much money can I make? Is there a guarantee of an airdrop? Are these people just engagement farming on Twitter, or do they actually know how to make money from this? I'm going to answer all of these questions and more in this video. By the end of this, you'll have an exact strategy that you can follow to farm the LayerZero airdrop. You'll know exactly why I believe that it's going to potentially make 5 to 6 figures for anyone who does the airdrop properly, and why I believe that LayerZero is going to have a huge valuation going forwards. So without further ado, let's get started.
Alright, hello everyone, we are back with another airdrop. The last one we did absolutely printed, so LayerZero, the next big crypto airdrop. Is it going to be the next 5 to 6 figure airdrop? Well, let's figure out from this video. By the end of this video, you'll pretty much know the answer to this question. And the first point I want to cover is, why should you trust me? If you just found my channel or you don't really know, why should you listen to me? Who am I? Some random 23-year-old dude who's, you know, made $100,000 or more from the Blur airdrop that was only 2 months ago. So this is a little bit of proof of the fact that I... Okay, so if you wanted proof that I know what I'm talking about with airdrops, this was an airdrop in February. This was one of my wallets for the community fund for my mastermind. We made about 230,000 Blur, which at the time of the token drop was worth 200 and something thousand dollars. So off my various wallets, I made over $100,000 just myself from an airdrop in February. So that's why you should trust me. I know my shit, and I make money from airdrops. So before we get started, let's cover my airdrop evaluation criteria. Because in order for you to understand why LayerZero could be a big opportunity, and for you to give you motivation to farm this airdrop because you know it could make you heaps of money, you should know why. You need to know the why could LayerZero make you lots of money. Why would the token be worth lots of money so that when you get it, you can sell it for a lot of money? So there's 4 main variables, okay? Variable number 1 is what percent of supply is for airdrop participants. So is the airdrop going to be 0.1% of all the supply of the token? Is it going to be all of the tokens? You know, what percent of the supply is going to the airdrop participants? Number 2, what percent of airdrop does my volume represent? So let's say I have one wallet and I do a little bit of, you know, farming, but then there's a billion other wallets who are also doing the same thing as me. I'm not really going to be making any money. So you need to know roughly, like, if you can, how much of what I'm doing, like what percent do I represent of the total airdrop? Number 3 is the difficulty, or is there a monetary cost for farming? So look, in airdrops farming, you make money by being able to do something that most people aren't able to do. Now, what are the barriers for people? Well, it's either too difficult, they don't have enough time, or it costs too much money. For the Blur airdrop where I made all this money, the main variable was cost. You had to basically buy and sell NFTs on Ethereum, which is expensive, and it was difficulty. It was actually a little bit difficult to use their platform, and no one really knew about it. So those are the main variables, right? Is the airdrop difficult? Does it take a lot of time? Does it cost money? And then the 4th variable, which is the most important of all the variables, because this determines how much money you even make, it's what's the market cap potential. There's no fucking point in doing an airdrop if the coin is worth $5 million. I see so many retards doing these airdrops of a coin that no one fucking knows about, and they're like, oh my god, I'm one of the only people farming this airdrop, I'm gonna make so much money. But then the airdrop drops and it's like worth $50 because the coin is like, it's like got a $10 million market cap. You're not gonna make money from a tiny fucking airdrop. If you're gonna do an airdrop, stick to the big projects that are getting billion or multi-billion dollar valuations, multi-billion dollar launches, because that is where the money is. You're only gonna be able to sell 6 figures, $100,000 of tokens if the coin's fucking worth something. Okay, so don't be those idiots farming the tiny airdrops, wasting their precious time. Okay, so with LayerZero, are we fitting all these requirements? The answer is no. 2 of the requirements I don't know the answer to. I don't know how much. There's not even details of what the airdrop's going to be. Okay, LayerZero hasn't said, yeah, there's going to be an airdrop. This much is being given away. They haven't said anything. So number one's off the cards. Number two, do I know how much my airdrop represents? Well, there's no real details about the airdrop, so the answer's no. However, it does fit the requirements of number 3 and 4, which is the most important parts anyway. And when you think about it, most airdrops like Arbitrum, Optimism, and a couple others, the big ones, they don't really tell you, hey guys, we're doing an airdrop, do this and you'll make money. They sort of just out of the blue go, oh cool, well if you did this and you did that, you get free coins. Thanks for using our platform. Thanks for being a real user and not just using us because you wanted to make free money. Thanks for not being a dickhead, you know, and then they give you free money. So you need to remember that these two aren't even really required. Number 3 and number 4, so LayerZero, the airdrop's a little bit difficult. Bridging, you got all these, you got to bridge. If you use holograph, you got to mint NFTs. You got to bridge NFTs. If you want to use DFK, you got to basically bridge gaming assets. There's quite a lot of depth to this airdrop if you really want to get into it. So it's difficult. Also, it does have a cost. If you're using Ethereum, obviously gas fees are pretty high right now. You're spending 20 to 30 bucks per transaction, which is a lot. And for, you know, if you're some like fucking broke dude from a third world country trying to farm an airdrop, it's too expensive. So that's a good thing. We don't want the brokey Indians farming this airdrop, okay? Not to be racist. And number 4, what is the market cap potential? We'll cover this one in a bit of depth in this video, but the market cap potential for LayerZero is a multi-billion-dollar market cap out the gate. And we'll cover that in this video. So what are the main points we're covering? Why I believe LayerZero has the potential to be a huge airdrop, why this is a no-brainer to potentially make tens of thousands of dollars, or is it a no-brainer? And also this video is going to be a real-life application of my fundamental investment process, which I've used to make over $100,000 on airdrops, which I'm going to be applying in this video to LayerZero. Okay, so it's going to be a very good learning resource, everything I'm going to be covering. Point number 1, why is LayerZero potentially going to print money? Well, some of the best VCs in crypto are backing it. Have a look at this list here. Have a close look. Use your eyes. A16Z. What else we got? Sequoia, very good fund. OpenSea, Samsung, even Samsung's investing. So there's a number of very high-level, world-class investment funds in the crypto space that are backing LayerZero, which is a very good sign. And this is in their Series B, so this is the second raise they've done. I think they raised $140 million at a $1 billion plus valuation, okay? Now you can see Samsung Next even wrote up a little piece on why they invested in LayerZero. I'm not putting it here, but I just wanted to show you that, you know, Samsung is investing. Number 2, $1 billion pre-token valuation. So LayerZero doesn't even have a fucking token yet, and it already has a $3 billion valuation, and it's already raised over $100 million. Okay, why does a valuation matter? You're probably asking. What does that mean? Well, think about it. If all of these very smart people are valuing LayerZero at $3 billion, and they're making a token, which is also a representation of the value of LayerZero, because the token is the only way that a retail investor can get exposure to the LayerZero ecosystem, how much value will the token have, seeing that it's already at a sort of traditional world valuation at $3 billion? Right? That's a good question to ask yourself. So a pre-market valuation is a good reflection of token valuation, because both token and sort of non-token valuations are ways that investors sort of value what this ecosystem, what this protocol, what this infrastructure and team is worth. Also, imagine you get all these airdrop coins, right? And you see that LayerZero is worth $3 billion. Are you going to sell all your tokens at $500 million in valuation? Or are you going to think to yourself, oh, well, this is probably going to be worth $3 billion. You're probably going to set a subconscious floor on the token price based off its pre-market valuation. Also, think about it this way. If a VC is buying coins at buying basically exposure to LayerZero at a $3 billion valuation, they're doing this because they believe that they're going to be able to make more after the token is launched, because that is how they get exposure. They're giving $120 million to LayerZero, and in return they're getting a bunch of tokens which they're going to dump on retail over the years to come. So they're basically, the bet they're making, all these smart VCs, is even at a $3 billion valuation, I'm going to be able to buy these tokens and sell them for a much higher price than what I'm buying them for right now. So that's a good, it's a good thought to think about, even in a bear market. Hey, look, these guys are spending a ton of money at a pretty high valuation. This thing is probably going to be worth a bunch of money when it launches a token, okay? And this is a photo to show you the valuations of pre-launch tokens. So none of these have a token yet. As of the last time this was posted, I'm pretty sure it's fully up to date. But yeah, you can see that LayerZero is the second highest. Starknet has an $8 billion 2022 valuation, probably lower now, seeing that it's been a bear market. But you can see 3 billion, it's like the second highest. It's probably the biggest airdrop, or one of the biggest airdrops that you can really participate in terms of the total value of the market cap. So let's talk about fundamentals. What the fuck is LayerZero? What is it? You probably have no clue what this thing is doing. So let me break it down to you in a really simple, easy way to understand. Okay, so when you use crypto, right, you use all these applications, Uniswap, 1inch, fucking Aave, you play games like DeFi Kingdoms. There's all these different applications you can use in crypto, right? And the problem is, when you, let's say, play a game on Ethereum, and you want to play a game that might be on, let's say, Solana, it's really hard to get your money across from the games, right? Because they're on different blockchains. LayerZero aims to solve this problem by giving all of these different bridging protocols technology that enables simple bridging between blockchains. So if you have money on Ethereum and you want to go bridge it over to Solana, you just use a bridge with LayerZero technology, and the entire process is simple and it's world-class, and the tech is the best of the best. You can already do this now with stuff like Synapse and a bunch of others, but LayerZero is a better, in my opinion, better technology, and I've been using it and I'm really happy with how it works. Okay, so what can you bridge? Like, what do what does bridging mean? Well, when you have, let's say, an NFT on Ethereum, you can now bridge this NFT, you can move it across to different blockchains, and it will keep everything about it. So if I have an NFT on Ethereum, I can move it over to Polygon, and that NFT is now on Polygon. Okay, so let's talk about the revenue model for LayerZero. So this is the 3 layers. You have users, you have these apps like fucking Uniswap and stuff, and then you have the infrastructure, which is LayerZero. So all of the applications integrate LayerZero technology so that you're able to bridge to all the different blockchains, right? To bring all the blockchains together. Every single user who transacts on any of these applications which integrate LayerZero pay what is called a relayer fee. This relayer fee is given to validators of LayerZero. Okay? Now, on Ethereum, if you run a validator, let me move me over here. This is getting a little bit confusing. Bear with me, okay? Listen up. When you own a validator on Ethereum, you do this by staking Ethereum. So you stake, I think it's 32 ETH. So every single validator who is receiving these fees for being a validator has to stake 32 Ethereum. There's no talk about if this is going to have to occur on LayerZero, but let's presume that yes, on LayerZero, you have to stake the LZO token in order to run a validator and receive all these fees. That is a good, catalyst for price, because it's going to lead to a lot of staked LZO that's locked up, which decreases the supply, which is a good thing for price, assuming that demand comes in, right? And think about it like this. If every week, every month, there's billions of dollars of people bridging to all these different networks, bridging their NFTs, bridging their coins, bridging in-game assets, they're all paying relayer fees. And if LayerZero is just the main integration of all across crypto, LayerZero is taking a tiny percent of every single transaction, and it's giving it to all the validators, all the relayers who are securing the network. And to all this money that these relays and validators are going to be getting, is going to make them a ton of money. And so there's going to be people, this is my guess, they're going to be locking up LZO in order to get basically the revenue from the relayer fees. Okay? That is positive for price. So that's the bullish catalyst of LayerZero. And they talk about this relayer thing here. So right now, the only relayer is LayerZero itself. But with this new update, they're basically going to be making this relayer thing publicly accessible. So in an hour, you can become a validator, relayer, whatever you want to call it, for LayerZero, and you can begin receiving the relayer fees. Okay? Because to put their goal simply, they're basically trying to create the generic messaging layer that underpins all interoperability between blockchains. So that's basically that photo that I was showing you here. To take words into a really easy visual representation, LayerZero is the tech integrated into all the apps that allows people to bridge across to all the blockchains. Okay, pretty simple now that I've explained it, right? And this is a little bit of a visual representation of what I mean by bridging between the blockchains. So you can take, these are all the different blockchains, right? And you can swap between them all. You can go from Solana to Ethereum, Ethereum to Metis or Polygon or whatever it is, and they're all connected in this little ecosystem. And every time someone's bridging here, there, whatever it is, LayerZero charges a relayer fee, and they keep a little bit of a percent. The same thing happens in the traditional finance world. There's people who've made patents for certain technology, which is integrated into the certain businesses that process, like let's say you made a patent that MasterCard uses, and they give you a 0.01% of every single transaction that goes through this patent technology. And let's say MasterCard's processing billions and billions and billions of dollars every year. You are making a fuck ton of money for doing nothing. Similar concept here with LayerZero. They've got a technology, wherever it's integrated, they make a little bit of money. They take a little bit of, they skim a little bit off the top, okay? And yeah, keep in mind with this bridging thing that I talk about, you can bridge everything. You can bridge NFTs, in-game items. So let's say you're playing a video game that's a blockchain game, and you've got a potion. You can bridge that potion to different blockchains, assuming that it works, right? You can bridge player scores. So let's say you're playing in a world and you want this character in a different world, but you want to keep the scores. The data will go across. You can bridge coins and more, and there's much more than that as well. So number 4, why is this LayerZero airdrop got potential? Well, it's difficult to farm. There's $20 to $40 in gas fees for every time you do an Ethereum transaction. If you want to bridge off of ETH, you have to pay the gas fee. So it's expensive. People are brokies. They can't afford that. There's also a skill burden. One of the ways that you can farm this airdrop is playing a game called DeFi Kingdoms. It was so confusing for me to figure that shit out. It was a pain in the ass. So it took me hours. So there's definitely a skill burden. I'm good at this shit, and it took me a while to figure it out. So I can't even imagine how most people feel about this stuff. And yeah, if I was a bit lazy, I would just completely ignore this airdrop. So that's a good thing, right? A lot of people, even though everyone's talking about it, a lot of online on Twitter and YouTube, a lot of people are just disregarding it completely because it has a bit of difficulty to it. Now, as good as all this sounds, there's no guarantee that you make money, and none of this is financial advice. So there's a number of potential issues with LayerZero. Issue number 1 is that compared to the Blur airdrop, there's no outline, there's no guarantee, there's no nothing. It's just that there's probably going to be a token, probably going to be an airdrop. Hopefully it plays out. So you need to understand that. There's no guarantee here or anything like that. It's all speculative. The second point is there's a lot more people farming this airdrop than Blur. When Blur was happening, it was barely anyone was talking about it. I was the only one talking about farming Blur. It wasn't really a thing until the last week, and then everyone started talking about it. But for the months prior, it was very quiet. No one really saw the vision like I did. Okay, so there's a lot more people farming it. It means there's less upside because there's more wallets. Also, the airdrop space becomes efficient and it prices in free money over time, and it does this very quickly. So the airdrop space in February is very different to what it is in May. In that 3 months, there's been a rise of NFT projects which will farm airdrops for you, Sybil farming operations, just general airdrop farming like syndicates and operations. Like it's sort of becoming an industry in and of itself to just max farm airdrops. This is not good because it increases the competition and it increases the amount of wallets that are sort of using these potential airdrop coins. The more people that are qualified for an airdrop, the more spread that same set of coins are between different wallets, and the less that is made per wallet. So the only way you can keep up is to farm more wallets yourself, which takes more time. And if you're competing with a literal like NFT project that does this for a living, very hard to compete on a time perspective because these guys are professional. But that is not a full issue just yet, if that makes sense. I think the issue with Sybil farming will become a lot worse in the months to come. Right now it's sort of an issue, but it's not too bad, if that makes sense. And also there's a lower cost burden than there was with Blur. I spent like $20,000-$30,000 US on fees and losing money on NFTs for the Blur airdrop to make 100K. So every dollar that I put in turned into $4, but I still had to put $1 in. With LayerZero, it's a bit of a different setup. You don't have to put you can't even put $1,000 in. You can't even spend $1,000 if you wanted to. Like if you're bridging between Polygon and Matic, zero fees. You can't spend $1,000. So the cost burden is much lower, which means that the barrier to entry is a lot lower, which means there's a lot more people who will do this airdrop. But keep in mind, just because you don't know that there's going to be an airdrop doesn't mean that they won't do it. And most of the best airdrops didn't tell you they were going to do one. They just were like, hey guys, one day they're just like, hey guys, we did an airdrop. Thanks for using the platform. Here's some money. So that's not an issue. And if you let the prior concerns that I mentioned here stop you, you would have missed Arbitrum, you would have missed Optimism, you would have missed a lot of other airdrops which all made 4 to 6 figures. So you can't let any of this stop you. You do have to just give it a go if you want to make money, okay? Do you want to make money, yes or no? Yes, you have to give it a go. Now, if you want to know an exact step-by-step farming overview of what you need to do that was made so that even an idiot could follow it, I made that guide already. I spent an entire week writing this shit up. So there's 5 strategies that you can follow. I got the numbers wrong. Just ignore that. I put 1, 3, 3, 2, 5. Anyway, ignore that. I was tired. But this guide will show you exactly what to do. So that if there is an airdrop, you should be able to qualify. This should give you enough usage of LayerZero to be able to qualify for the airdrop. And a link to that is in the description below. Now, as well as that, I do have a 3 public Telegram group. Any updates to the airdrop, any future airdrops, all that sort of stuff I should be putting in here, so I recommend joining if you're not already. But that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you got some value. I'll see you in the next one.